Today on Hobby Journeys, we'll be showing you how to base your miniatures and we'll be playing a game of Blood Bowl.
Hello! Welcome to Hobby Journeys. This week on Hobby Journeys,
We'll be looking at the latest releases.
we'll be showing you how to base your minis.
We'll be looking at the hobby we've done this month.
We'll be flashing back to the 90s with an old White Dwarf.
And we're playing a game of Blood Bowl.
So Matthew, this month we had a bit of a trip to a hobby store, didn't we? We went to Leviathan Games in Farsley. We're not affiliated or anything, just we thought it was quite good there, didn't we? We had a bit of a look around, got ourselves some miniatures, didn't we?
Maybe in the future we'll get sponsored though.
Well, you never know.
We'll get sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah, maybe not.
That's what YouTubers always get sponsored by.
I'm far too old to be in a video sponsored by Rage Shadow Legends or whatever it's called.
But YouTubers always get sponsored by Red Shadow Legends.
Yeah, young ones. I'm 43. So we got some new miniatures, didn't we? Shall we have a look at what we bought? You got yourself this fella, didn't you? Which is
chubby man.
Yeah.
I don't think he's very chubby, but
Captain Messinias, I think it is, isn't it? But he's a character out of Black Library. You're going to paint him up for your chapter, aren't you? There.
He's also been renamed to Captain Leonidas.
Is that what you're calling him now?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
He looks like a Greek because of that.
This is
Sparta.
Yeah, something like that.
This is Sparta.
So is your chapter planet going to be called Sparta?
No.
No? Well, it would sort of make sense if you did. I got myself the Adeptus Arbites kill team. I did go in intending to get a knight, but bottled it. And I looked at the price and thought, oh, I can't spend
He got
that much.
dog.
I'm going to be buying the Leviathan box set soon.
And he got dog.
I did, with the doggo, so it's got the dog. I was a big fan of the Adeptus Arbites back in the day. I did have the original kit, the lead miniature version Adeptus Arbites. Yeah, well, that was 30 years ago, that was. And this is a really nice reimagining of it, so yeah, I treated myself to that anyway. So let's get into the latest releases. You see, you're doing it now.
Do what?
Latest releases.
No, I'm just doing whatever you say.
Yeah, I know, you're copying me now, aren't you?
Yeah, copy.
So there haven't been many new releases announced by Games Workshop in the last month because we've got 10th edition on the way, so they've really just been giving us previews of what that's going to look like. So we've had announced a new Space Marine Lieutenant. This is Lieutenant Titus. He's the star of the Space Marine computer game. But this is to tie in with a new board game they're releasing, which is the Space Marine board game. So here it is. So Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine, the board game. This model is going to be an exclusive to the box. I think this looks quite cool because I think what this is a bit of a gateway game meant to draw people in who are fans of the computer game and try and get them playing a simple version of 40k that might lead them into playing some of the other games and spending all their money on miniatures rather than computer games, presumably. I would imagine that's Games Workshop's aim. I quite look at this. What do you reckon, Matthew? I think this might be quite a nice one for us to play.
No.
No, you're not liking it?
The video game sounds better.
Well, maybe we'll play that as well.
If it looks like that, I think the video game would be cool.
Well,
you said it was a first-person shooter, didn't you?
Yeah, as well, the computer game doesn't look like that. That's the board game.
Yeah,
That's
no, but like,
yeah.
would that be like Tyranids surrounding you and you're in a first-person?
Yeah. It's a bit like Fortnite, where I think it's a third-person shooter, a bit like Fortnite, and I don't know. I seem to remember Space Marine being a third-person shooter, but I think you can switch between the views probably. We've got this new miniature that comes with it. I'm not that keen on him, to be honest. He looks a bit weird. I mean, there's already plenty of lieutenants. I've got loads of these lieutenants already, so it's not really that necessary to have another one. And I'm not very keen on him, to be honest. Also, this month we've had announced a couple of new Age of Sigmar miniatures. I know you're not a big fan of Age of Sigmar, but so we've got these new chaps. So I think this is a commander for a Cities of Sigmar army, a free guild general. I do have a very small Cities of Sigmar army myself. So I do quite like these miniatures. I prefer the infantry miniatures we've seen previously, but these guys are alright as well. Anyway, there's not been much else announced. This is about it for new miniatures, although we're probably going to see a bit more coming up, because once the 10th edition box set's out, I'm expecting us to see
loads of them coming out.
Yeah, I think we'll see some new Space Marines to come along with the Codex, which is going to be announced for the next
maybe
few
like
months.
a new, not like chapter, like a new separated chapter.
I just think we'll see some new Space Marine miniatures that aren't in the box. Probably some of them released separately anyway, because that's what they tend to do. So yeah, I think there'll be quite a lot coming along with that. So anyway, hobby guide. Let's show you how to do some hobby or something. On this hobby guide, we're going to be showing you how to base your miniatures. So when you painted your miniature up, as we've shown you in the previous hobby guides, you'll end up with a nicely painted miniature, but what you'll find is very plain base that you stood on. What we need to do is give a bit of detail to the base, and there's a load of ways we can go about this. But very simply for a beginner, probably a good approach to use is just what we used to do in the good old days of mixing some PVA glue and some sand, and then just spread that onto the base and then paint over the top of it, just to give you a bit of a granulated surface, just something a bit more like a bit rocky terrain or something like that. I mean, that's a really basic approach to it. What you could also do is there are a number of different ranges of texture paints. So Citadel do their texture paint range. Companies like Vallejo and a lot of other companies do various products that you can use to just paint straight onto the base. An example would be what we've done with these chaps, but it'll just give you a bit of a granulated surface basically. So Citadel do paints like these. So this is Martian Iron Crust. There are a load of different coloured versions of this. This is meant to be used for a sort of Martian surface. What it is a load of tiny little plastic balls, which are in a sort of in a red paint. And what they'll do is that's what we used here. And if you paint that straight onto your base, it's going to give you a bit of a textured surface in that colour. It's going to look great without having to do anything to it apart from apply it to the base. But then what we've done here is just give it a bit of a dry brush over the top, just to pick out those sort of raised edges on it and so on. It just makes it look really good. But it's a really quick and simple way to do it. There are other products available. For example, we've got this Vallejo ground texture, which I tend to use. It's a lot cheaper than the Citadel equivalents, but it's not quite as good in terms of the texture. But it depends what you're doing with it. What we're going to do is, on the chapter marines, we're going to put some texture onto the base.
Mine, just purple on the bottom.
Yeah, so what we might want to do first is put a couple of stones on. Yeah, just get a small one. Find yourself a small rock you like. Okay, let's put some super glue on the bottom of it.
Can it go just behind his leg?
Yeah, that's fine. Just to add a little bit of decoration to him. So what I'm going to do is just put super glue. Then you want to just place it on the base. Make sure you don't get it on your fingers though.
Because it'll hurt, won't it?
Well, you'll stick your fingers together. So real careful, don't get that on your fingers. So just turn them around, place it on the base. There you go, perfect. Right, so what we've got is we're going to use like a red texture paint. It's going to look like Mars, basically. It's a really thick, grainy paint. I'll start putting some on mine. See, look at the texture of that. So what we're going to do, you've got to keep it away from the feet. Just try and spread some of this on. What's going to happen is when it dries, it's got like these little particles that make it look like sand. So don't get too much on and just paint it on, basically. Stay away from his feet though. Try not to get it on his feet. But if you do get it on his feet, don't panic, because it'll just look like a bit of the mud has splattered up onto him.
I think you've done a bit better.
Oh, you've done super good there. When it dries, because you've put a bit of a thicker layer on it, it'll look really good. So as we were saying, we went to did some shopping, got some new miniatures.
We're definitely rich, totally.
You actually built this chap yourself, didn't you? So you assembled him all yourself. Bit of help from me, but you did most of it yourself.
Box?
Yeah, there you go. There's the box. So Matthew built them in for himself, and then you had to go with the airbrush, didn't you? So we got the airbrush out, and you've sprayed him light grey at the moment, so we can start with doing the full painting on him. Right, if you look, there's two little dots there. So first thing to do is have a look at the picture and see how it's meant to be held. So look, he's holding the gun upwards. So what you're going to do is and then if you see the two little dots there, they need to go with the 2 little dots there. So if you have a go, it goes together really quite nicely.
And you don't even have to put, you only have to put a thin line of glue on.
Yeah, well, it just helps it hold in place and gets it in the right position. Yeah, so there you go. So remember to have a look at so just work out from the picture how it's going to be going on. Yeah. And if you are struggling, I can help you. So it's going pretty much flat against it. Just feel your way around it.
I think that's it. Oh, I had it.
Oh, there you go. You got it? You got it? Well done, mister. Very good. Look at that. Went on real well, didn't it? Do you want to do a test spray into the box?
Yeah.
Right, don't just hold it real still because you've got paint in there that'll slop out if you're not careful. Right, so you're just going to pull the trigger back. You're better off using your forefinger, so hold it like you do with a pen. So just like this.
Okay.
The finger on there, right, so you got it? Just like you would with a pen.
Oh, like this.
Yeah, like that. There you go. Just spray it into the box. So you press down and pull back. Press down and pull back. Oh, careful with that pain. There you go, just like that. Right, so here you go, easy mini. So point at aim. Bit close, too close, so you want to be about this distance. Okay? You've got to use 2 hands, that's absolutely fine. Just pull back steadily in your own time, there's no rush. So pulling back. Oh yeah, paint's going on there. There you go. So we're going to be flashing back to the 90s now. So we're going to be looking at a classic issue of White Dwarf 172. This is from April 94. Actually, it's a bit later than I thought. I thought it was going to be an earlier one than that. One of the reasons we're doing this is because our next thing we're going to be doing is a feature of a game we played at Blood Bowl, didn't we? So I thought we'd have a look back at when I think this was 2nd edition Blood Bowl got announced.
You would have been in secondary school. No. You'd have been in university maybe when that came out.
No, I was
Probably young.
10th year at school, I think. 9th or 10th year.
You're making me feel old. That's from 1994 and you're 40. So how would that add up?
I'm 43.
Oh, yeah, it does add up, doesn't it?
But yeah, so the cover is the Blood Bowl, I think probably 2nd edition, maybe 3rd, I don't know. I'll lose track.
It looks second to me.
But yeah, so this was the cover of the box set. So you've got a big ogre fella versus a human. So we had a big feature, Jervis Johnson, who is the granddaddy of them all, of Blood Bowl. He's wrote a lot of games, but Blood Bowl was entirely his doing. He wrote all the editions, I think, even up to the current one. So we've got some features on this. We've got some humans against the orcs here. Bit of a feature on the Auckland Raiders. So you can see it hasn't changed that much to currently, because you've still got a couple of black orcs, orc linesmen, throwers, blitzers. It's all exactly the same unit. This is what came in the box, pretty much the same again. In fact, even the ogre is Morgenthorg, who is the one that you had.
Yeah!
He's the one that you had in your game, wasn't he? You've actually got the model of him. All the dice the same.
Changed.
Yeah, the board's the same. I mean, it looks very, very similar. Even the dugouts are basically the same.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's a big feature on Blood Bowl. We've got a bit of a battle report. This is Warhammer Fantasy Battle. Oh, look at them high elves. The high elves against Skaven. I think you'd quite like Skaven. They're basically Chaos Rat Men.
Rat!
They've got this screaming bell, which is like this huge big bell, but they're all they're assassin rats. But they've got this doom wheel, which is basically like, you know how you might have your rat in a little wheel in its cage. The new Eldar range had just been released, so we had the new at that time anyway, Eldar Aspect Warriors. This was 30 years ago. I had these fire dragons, they were lovely. I love these fire dragons.
Their heads are so big.
Well, they still are though, that's what they're basically like now. These guys are cool, they're Striky Scorpions, I like them, they're one of my favourites now. Dire Avengers. What are you thinking of these Eldar then?
Bad, I don't like Eldar.
You don't like Eldar?
I only like 40k.
They are 40k, they're Eldar.
Eldar in 40k, is it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
They're
Look,
still
they're in
ugly.
space, they've got guns, look. It's in
Still
space.
ugly.
Oh, I really like them. I love these. There we go. So that was it. That was basically what's in there. Basically, big feature on Eldar, big feature on Blood Bowl, Battle Report of Fantasy Battle. So we played a game last week, didn't we, of Blood Bowl? Yeah. So we're going to be showing you what happened with that. So we played humans versus orcs. The orcs had the
Who was the orc?
yeah, Matthew does love his orcs. You had your star ogre up front, Morgenthorg. Whereas I didn't have any star player. We only played 8 turns, so it was one half of a game basically that we played. So Matthew won the first kick-off, so I was kicking to him. Yeah, so I set up first with quite a deep defence setup.
I went quite aggressive.
Yeah, Matthew's a bit more aggressive with your lineup, weren't you?
Not really. But you've got more men forward than me.
So I was kicking to Matthew. So I played the ball up the field, but it's come back into the midfield. 3, so it's going to be 1 dice.
Yeah. Wait, wrong dice. Come on, be good.
Oh, it's both down, unless you want to re-roll, because that'll be turnover.
I really don't. It's really bad to have a turnover in your first go.
Yeah.
So I think I'm not going to re-roll.
Go on then, take your re-roll down to 0. You can re-roll it now.
That's like even worse.
Could end up worse though. Oh, it's the same results. Down we both go. We've both got to take an armour roll. Matthews had a knockdown almost immediately, which caused a turnover, giving the advantage back to me. So I was able to surge forward. So I grabbed the ball, managed to set up a slight defensive formation.
I also wasted my re-roll.
Matthew pushed on aggressively in the middle, so you're attacking me quite hard with your ogre and black orc block. Create yourself a bit of an issue though, because you created this gap through the middle where I was able to exploit the space. So in my turn, I've managed to knock down the guy who was covering the ball carrier, leaving him free to make a sprint all the way up the field, leaving him open. You weren't able to come back and challenge effectively. You only got this one man back to cover me. No, I think you get 2 because he's only got strength for 2, so you get 2 dice. You get another one. So yeah, you get 2 dice.
I've got 2.
Oh yeah. He's not as strong as my normal guys. He's a catcher.
Boom.
Yeah.
And that's the ball goes flying.
Okay, spit on top.
4.
Which way is 4?
That way.
Okay, so
1, 2, 3, 4.
No, it only goes 1 square. 1 square.
Oh.
So it's in that square next to between your orc and him.
It's this in it.
Yeah. There was a bit of a kerfuffle where you managed to knock him over. So your blitz, you managed to knock over my catcher with the ball. The ball span out. After your remaining actions, I managed to carry the impetus forward, grab the ball, touchdown! I need a 3+ to pick up the ball.
I think if you score, that means it goes on to the next round, doesn't it?
Yeah, if I score, it just all starts over again. I need 1
And
dice.
we get injuries
3+ to pick it up. He's picked it up.
And we get injuries back, not dead though.
Triumphantly into the tackles or into the end zone. He's into the end zone and he scored! Yes! How are we feeling about that, Matthew? How are we feeling? Are we happy? You like that? No. No, well, you know.
So now we're going to the second round.
So yeah, that was my turn. So you know.
For 4.
Yeah. No, it's turn. I think we had then 3 turns each. We restarted. I set up with a very aggressive touchline, just hoping to turn it into a bit of a ruck.
That went bad for him. Because my ogre, I just absolutely smashed him.
You did. You continually smashed down my lineman in the front line.
And then let my men get through you and off.
Yeah, so you managed to break the line on that left flank.
But you got back in time.
Yeah, so basically most of my men spent a lot of time on the ground. Your guy made a run through, but I was able to get a bit of a defence back to counter him.
The guy with a ball.
Yeah.
But you got 2 men back. I got 2 men forward. a bit of battling happened.
Yeah, so we still
I
had,
almost banged me
so we
head
had
on my
three turns still left to run, and you were really making it difficult for me on that flank.
Luckily, you go for him, push my man back, and then you take so you would get 2 dice, I think.
Yeah, I managed to push down your ball carrier, I think. So,
Yeah.
and that just creates enough of a delay for a turn or so while you got the ball back, and just didn't give you enough time to get it down the field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. He's going to punch the ball carrier. So is your strength 3 the blitzer?
Blitzer, strength 3, yeah.
Yeah, and we get 2 dice. Come on! Need that ball bouncing.
Yes!
No.
Oh, no.
You forget I don't hit you, do I? So, at which point...
I would have won if you hadn't bring your men back.
But then you just ran out of time and we came to the 8th turn and it was game over.
And
So
then I smacked the table.
Something like that.
Yeah, I did.
Bomb. So we'll move to there.
5, movement
So
5.
we'll move to there. So you need to make an agility roll. So you need a what's your agility?
Agility to throw agility 3.
Yeah.
1 dice.
1 dice and you're going to need
3
3
over.
plus. 3 plus.
No.
That's it. And that's the game. Down goes your orc. It's a turnover.
And you win.
Daddy wins 1-0. But it was a really good effort, Matthew. You almost got yourself back into the game there. Almost. Did you enjoy that? So there we go. Anyway, we had fun there, didn't we?
No.
No, you think we did, didn't we, Matthew?
No.
We had lots of, not in the game you didn't, because you lost. But, you
Yeah.
know, a 1-0 victory to Daddy. There we go.
It's not Daddy, it's Dad.
Dad. Okay, you're getting a bit old for Daddy, are you?
No. Just when I'm upset, that's what I call you.
Okay. Anyway, what are we going to say to the viewers?
I don't know. What do we say to the viewers?
We say, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Bonjour.
Bye.